Okay, so Sister Kelly wrote in, and you guys from the floor are very welcome to write in something as well as we'll get going. So Kelly wrote in, I've got a business question. I have a business coach who says we should be having a sales call a day. But for this to happen, I would need to have email campaigns every few days and webinars more frequently. I started posting to a Facebook group I managed more frequently, but engagement is not as high. I think I need to start doing Facebook Lives, but that can feel a little overwhelming. My energy levels are better than they have been, but I just can't see myself in this kind of volume marketing. The body is not into it. I did hire someone to help me launch a book in October because I knew I needed some more support and it would not get out. So hopefully that will help, but still need marketing to alert people to my new programs. Any suggestions? Yes. Hey, Sister Mary, I do have suggestions. Did I miss someone else coming on? No. I do have suggestions to that, Kelly. First and foremost, know what you know, as opposed to having to get it right based on what marketing coaches tell us. I've had a marketing coach as well for a little while. Great. I learned a lot of stuff, but I'm not following that protocol rigidly. I've tried some stuff I'll get back to, some stuff didn't really work for me. We are not typical salespeople. I can't think of the right word I want to use here, but we're not just selling stuff, right? We're facilitating with our heart, and just trying to churn through volume is not what it's about for us. It's how much light can we express on the planet. And if we're trying to do, hey, Sister Barb, glad that you're listening via the phone, and if we're trying to do it to fit certain criteria and for certain shoulds, I should be having a sales call a day. I've been in situations where having a sales call a day. I had an automated, Facebook campaign going out, and I was creating about a sales call a day, about 6 or 7 sales calls a week. Great, but it can be fine-tuned, and we can get to a situation where having a sales call a day and it feels great. I don't think it's a wrongness to have a sales call a day, not at all. I think I could probably have 2 sales calls a day if I get other stuff in place that's feeling good. The important thing is to go at our own pace and to really put a lot of our own heart into what we're doing, and really whether it's important for you to be having a sales call a day. Because ultimately what's more important than having a sales call a day is how many conversions you have a week, right? It's all very good to have a sales call a day if you don't sell any of those calls into your program because they weren't ideal fits and you weren't really attracting them through a mechanism where you had matured those prospects before they got on a phone with you. Because if they just come to you dead cold, for me anyway, it's not so easy for me to onboard them, because for me, I need to be really sure that they're going to get the most out of any program that I'm offering. So I like to know the people quite well, and I like them to know me quite well. I like them to have listened to my light language more than just once, right, before they're entertaining the idea of whether they join a $2,000 program with me, right? I much prefer, because I know I get much better results with people who have a deeper connection with me to start with. I can be more sure, and therefore I can relax more into serving them. So, for me, it is about allowing people to develop a relationship with me. And this call, for example, is one of those opportunities that I give people, right? Where I let people get an experience of how I interact, how I, what my processes are, what my thought patterns are, what my style is like. I don't do light languages on these calls, but I give people a good idea of how I think and how I address and how we as ManTarA and Matt work with people. So doing a Facebook Live is great, and it will feel overwhelming. Trust me, sometimes it still feels overwhelming for me. And when I'm sitting here and thinking, I'm going live now, and what am I going to tell? What am I going to talk about? Who's going to show up? Am I going to be left sitting here with nothing to say? It's scary, right? And that feeling of fear can feel like it's too much, which is then overwhelmed when there's too much fear that you feel that you can comfortably cope with. That's the process of getting stronger. Unfortunately, that's how we strengthen ourselves in all ways. It's how we get more confidence, is to push into the region that we call overwhelm, right? When we go into the gym to get bigger muscles, we have to push ourselves into the place where our muscles get overwhelmed, and then they choose to grow stronger, right? That's how we tend to evolve. We have to have a need for evolving first. We don't just get strong and then go, oh, look, I'm really strong. Now I should do this. Now I should push weights because I'm really strong. That doesn't happen. We start pushing weights and then our body gets stronger as a result. You know, for me, I didn't just start speaking light language and then go, oh, look, I speak light language. I should go out and start healing people. I chose to start working as a facilitator, even though I didn't speak light language, even though I didn't have any modalities at all. I've told that story quite a few times recently. I haven't trained in anything. And yet I was a yoga teacher, and basically I asked some of my yoga students if they'd like a healing from me, even though I didn't have a modality. And basically they just lay on the table, I hold my hands over them like I was doing Reiki, and I just held them in a space of love, and it worked. They had experiences that they found were very beneficial, and they were willing to pay me for that. And as I started doing that more and more, then all sorts of abilities started to develop. I started finding that I could channel, I could speak to them in ways that influence them and help them. And then light language came within a year of me starting to do those sessions with people. So the point is, we have to, and it was overwhelming. It was really overwhelming for me to even ask people if they wanted to have a healing session. It felt very overwhelming and very scary. And for me to actually turn up and set my table up and have them lie down and do all of that. And, you know, at first, I don't have any crystals here on this table, but I started using crystals to give me some sort of pretense that I knew what I was doing. So the point is we have to be willing to push ourselves into a little bit of that overwhelm in order to grow into what we are choosing. So, you know, you're choosing, I believe, to show up and really share your light with other people because you believe that would serve them, and it would actually serve you and allow you to feel more joyful and purposeful in yourself. So to do that, let go of a little bit of what the marketing gurus are telling you to do and just show up and do it. Show up and start sharing yourself more frequently. That can be written, right? You can write. You are a writer. You're writing a book. You can publish to social media, various written articles to do that. But live streams are a great way of interacting with people, and it lets people see a little bit deeper into you. Now, you might think, well, I'm not going to measure up. I'm not going to be good enough for them. You will always be good enough for your best clients. You will always be good enough for your best clients. And the point of the process is not to attract people who want you based on a facade that you're this perfect person who speaks so eloquently. You're looking to attract people who really like you based on the true you, the authentic you, the transparent you. And so you have to be willing to show that, which again is overwhelming because it feels vulnerable and doesn't feel safe. And we've been persecuted in other lifetimes for letting people see too much of ourselves when we were a being of light here on this dark planet, when there was shadow authoritarian rulers ruling with fear and might and force and persecution, right? Punishment. So yeah, it's a process. And choose to keep stepping forward. Hopefully that helps, sister.